Well, I am Loren Cunningham Hammond. I am one of the trainers for National General Accident Health, and we have a lot of information that we're going to be going over. Jack, I hope you're well. So Ralph, hello, hello. Ralph Cunningham, Loren Cunningham Hammond. Nice to see you guys. Good to see you all. So as I was saying, I am one of the trainers here at National General Accident and Health, and we're going to go over quite a large variety of product line. So the product line that we're going to be talking about today is going to be the critical illness that has the built-in term life policy, as well as the cancer, heart, and stroke standalone policy, as well as the term life standalone. So it's a lot of information to cover. So let's just go ahead and get started. So in addition to what I had already said, we're going to be touching on the plan options as well as the plan details, and then some of the things that you, the agent, can utilize to touch base with your clients with the agent and resources information. So why a critical illness term life plan? Well, unfortunately, we should be planning for the incidents that is life, right? So each year, about 530,000 Americans declare personal bankruptcy due to medical bills. Unfortunately, guys, the day that we live in, a lot of people, more than 65% of the people here in the United States do not have $1,000 in the event of an emergency. So with all of our plans, you can bundle them, you can add them to a group for an individual that say has a group insurance, or even for an individual that has just a short-term medical. Us as insurance agents, we should be taking care of those holes, those gaps that our insureds have. Even for those people that have Affordable Care Act plans, you know, we're seeing the trend. Insurance policies, especially in the medical realm, the deductibles are getting higher and higher, and so are the premiums. So again, these are just options that you can sell to help bridge those gaps for your clients. Every 40 seconds in America, someone will have a heart attack. Over 1.8 million Americans will have diagnosed with some type of cancer, and that is just in 2020 alone. These are scary statistics, guys. So fortunately or unfortunately, us as insurance agents should be bridging those gaps for our clients. Now, this critical illness term life policy is going to reduce the financial impact of a critical illness for both your client as well as their families. These are going to provide clients with a critical illness as well as a term life. So it's two different benefits built into one package. It's a beautiful option. Now, clients can receive a lump sum payment. Now, there are 15 critical conditions. Yes, guys, the conditions must fall under this criteria. We are going to pay on top of any other benefits your insureds may have. So again, even if you have clients that have those group benefits, you can still sell these policies to them. We have benefit levels that range from 25,000 up to 100,000. You getting to know your clients, you are going to know what fits best for their needs. We have no network restrictions, no deductibles, coinsurance, no copays, or those pesky pre-authorizations. No, they're not required either under the critical illness term life plan. Now, we're going to talk about the benefits as well as the covered conditions. And we're going to go a little deeper into the conditions. So the critical illness benefit levels that you can choose from for your client: 25,000, 30,000, 50,000, 75,000, or 100,000. Now, the term life benefit, because again, it's built in with the critical illness, is going to match 100% of the critical illness benefit. We will pay up to age 85. Now, it is a 10-year level term. It is a guaranteed 5-year premium. So 10-year level term. So the face amount is going to stay the same. It's not going to be reducing. But again, the premium is going to be guaranteed for 5 years on the term life. Now, covered conditions Full critical benefit is paid in the event of invasive cancers, deafness, heart attack, major organ transplant, stroke, kidney failure, paralysis, coma, loss of a limb, blindness, or major burns. Now, please note, invasive cancers, those are the more like breast cancer or the more intense cancers, people may not recover from. That is generally a rule of thumb as a invasive cancer. Now, let's say that you have the situation where it is a lesser cancer, or in the event of like Alzheimer's, we are going to pay out 25% of the illness, that critical illness benefit. Again, it has to fall under this criteria: heart valve surgery, Alzheimer's, and it must be advanced Alzheimer's, invasive cancers, as well as the coronary artery bypass graft. Now, let's say that you have an individual that's kept the policy for long-term and they have another occurrence, but it's a more invasive, like the list I showed you before. We will pay out the remaining benefit, the 75% of that remaining benefit. So again, they can receive a partial benefit of 25%, or they can receive a 75% again of that remaining benefit of the face amount. Now that does apply to all persons on the policy. So please note they must be on the policy. Yes, guys, that is a thing. So let's look at Kent here. Kent did have multiple payouts. So Kent purchased a $50,000 critical illness term life coverage. 3 years later, he was diagnosed with early stage prostate cancer. And 5 years later, his cancer diagnosis had a heart attack. So again, he's had 2 major occurrences. So that early stage cancer was 25% payout, which was the equivalent to $12,500. And the remaining benefit of $37,500 was paid out when he had that heart attack. So again, the total payment was $50,000. Now, guys, we're going to talk about the eligibility, state availability, limitations and exclusions, and we're going to touch on the enrollment a little later. So the primary applicant must be between the ages of 18 and 59 at the time of application. Spouse coverage is going to be the same as the primary. Unfortunately, we do not offer dependent child coverage, nor do we offer the child-only policies. Now, again, remember, this is for the critical illness term life policies. Critical illnesses are renewable up to age 65. The term life is also renewable up to age 85. And then all of our policies here that we're going to talk about today are going to require a health questionnaire, and that also does include their height and weight at the time of application. These are the current states in which the policy is available in. Now, some limitations and exclusions. Now, guys, this is just a generic limitations and exclusions, but I will show you where you can find the more detailed limitations and exclusions for any of our policies in any of our states in which the product is available in. So pre-existing conditions, that cancer first diagnosis within 90 days, sickness, again, first diagnosed within 30 days, war or any act of war, mental illness, illegal acts, hazardous occupations, firemen, policemen, someone that works on the bomb disposal squad, aviation, complications from cosmetic surgeries. Again, this is just a generic list of those particular situations, and I will show you where you can find more information. Let me see, do you not find available in California? Let's go back to that particular part of the presentation, and you're correct. California is a very strict state, so the critical illness is and term life is not available in California. Unfortunately, California is very, very difficult to take those policies in and out of. The DOI in California is very strict, but we do have some other offerings for you. Now, the cancer, heart, and stroke. Now, please note the cancer, heart, and stroke is also a built-in product, or excuse me, a rider when it comes to the plan enhancer. But a lot of people don't realize that you can actually write the cancer, heart, and stroke as a standalone policy too. Now, the key to the cancer, heart, and stroke, just like all of our other plans, it is going to be based on the first ever diagnosis. So we're going to touch on why a cancer, heart, and stroke, the plan options, plan details, and again, that agent and member resources, which I'm going to delve in towards the end. So over 1.8 million Americans will be diagnosed with some type of cancer in 2020 alone. Every 40 seconds, an American unfortunately has a heart attack. More than 795,000 Americans have a stroke annually, and approximately 140,000 of those people that have those strokes have fatal strokes. These are scary statistics. Sanji, if you had cancer 9 years ago and you were cancer-free, can you get a critical illness? Yes, Sanji, this is a great question. You can get the critical illness, but remember, because there is a first-time diagnosis, we are not going to pay out the policy on that cancer because, again, it's been the first ever diagnosis. We're not going to pay, but all the other conditions we will pay out on. That's a great question. Thank you. So on the cancer, heart, and stroke, the client is again going to receive a lump sum cash benefit. And again, and I sound like a broken record, forgive me, but this is the first ever diagnosis of cancer, heart attack, or a stroke. Now, I myself have a cancer history. I have this policy on myself and my husband. So if I had a reoccurrence of cancer, unfortunately, it is not going to pay the cancer option, but Lord willing, I don't have a heart attack or a stroke. If that is the case, then I would receive the lump sum benefit. Luckily, my husband has none of those health conditions, but if he had a first time ever cancer incident, heart attack, or stroke, again, the policy will pay. This is going to pay on top of the benefits that you may have with other plans. Again, you can sell this to an individual that has a group benefit plan as well. Benefits range from $25,000 to $75,000, and there's no network restrictions. So let's talk about the benefits as well as the covered conditions. So for benefit levels, $25,000, $30,000, $50,000, or $75,000. Now remember, guys, this is a cash benefit. Now, what your insureds choose to do with this money is entirely up to them. I would hope they would pay their medical bills, but remember, this is paid per covered person on the policy. So yes, for all persons that are listed on the policy, they would receive the full dollar amount, as well as anyone else on the policy in the event they had the occurrence as well. Now, covered conditions, 100% of the selected benefit amount is paid, again, for the first ever diagnosis. Now, it must be a life-threatening cancer, coronary artery disease, cardiac arrhythmia resulting in a heart attack, or cerebral disease resulting in a stroke. Again, these are the most 100% first ever, and I'm gonna bang on that one a lot, first ever. Now, let's say that your insured has another situation. Well, in the event that it falls under the 25%, we can pay out 25% of the selected benefit amount for the first ever. So these are some of the examples: coronary artery disease or cardiac arrhythmia resulting in a coronary bypass. If that is the case, they would receive 25% of the face amount, but 10% of the selected benefit amount is paid for the first ever And again, it's first ever diagnosis of coronary artery disease resulting in a coronary angioplasty. Now, please note, after the partial is paid, the remaining percentage is still there in the benefit. So if we have paid out a partial payment, so for example, the 25%, your insured could still receive 75% of the face amount, provided they keep the policy in effect. Yes, guys, I do have to say that we have that question quite a bit. So let's look at Oscar here. Oscar went in for his routine checkup. He found out he had colon cancer. So he had that $50,000 cancer, heart, and stroke plan. So his cancer, heart, and stroke benefit was $50,000. His treatment cost was $14,019, but his remaining in cash benefit, because remember, we pay that lump sum benefit, was $35,981. So let's talk about the eligibility, state availability, some of those limitations and exclusions. So the primary applicant and the spouse must be between the ages of 18 and 64 at the time of application. We can do that dependent child coverage, but unfortunately, we do not offer a child-only policy. This policy is renewable up to age 75. Now, please note, requires the health questionnaires to be completed, and at the time of application, we are also taking height and weight. Current states in which the cancer, heart, and stroke standalone are available in. And yes, unfortunately, California is not one of them. I'm sorry. Limitations and exclusions. Again, guys, this is just a generic limitations and exclusions, but I will show you where you can find the more detailed information. Some of the limitations and exclusions are going to be 24-month pre-existing conditions, cancer first diagnosed within the following states for 90 days. So the first 90 days, the following states, first 60 days in the state of Alabama, first 30 days in the following states. Now remember, heart attack or stroke occurring within the first 30 days. Again, that is a big one. And illegal drug use. Now I have an agent that said, hey, I have an insured that was partaking in a lot of illegal substances and unfortunately had a heart attack because of these illegal substances. Will they pay out on the policy? Unfortunately, that is a no, because again, the illegal drug use, which could have tripped the heart attack, unfortunately, we are not going to pay out on that policy, guys. Now, for those of you with term life questions, so not to be confused, we had that critical illness with the term life that was automatically built in. You're getting 2 products for 1 price. But let's say that you have an insured that just straight wants a term life. Well, we also offer the term life in a standalone. So what are the benefits of a term life? Well, it's going to cover those everyday expenses after the loss of income in the event the insured passes away. You know, if they use the money to help pay off mortgage or college tuition, or provide that financial peace of mind during those child-rearing years. I used to sell a lot of insurance, especially term life, because people wanted a lot of bang for a little buck, and term life takes care of that. Again, it's that peace of mind. So the plan details, well, we have various face amounts to choose from: 20, 25,000, 30, 50,000, 75,000, and 100,000. Now, this is a term of 10 years. So it is a guaranteed, no decreasing. It is a set term amount, which is the 10 years, but the rates are going to be guaranteed for 5 years. Now, again, subject to a health questionnaire. Now, these are the current states in which the term life standalone policy is available. And we note California is on there. Now, the primary applicant must be between the ages of 18 to 64 at the time of application. Unfortunately, no dependent child coverage is available, so it is strictly 18 to 64. Now, again, those limitations and exclusions: full-time service in the armed forces, intentionally self-inflicted injuries or loss resulting from illegal acts, injuries or loss resulting from hazardous activities, bungee cord jumping, rodeo riding, alligator wrestling, intercollegiate sports, semi-professional sports, as well as professional sports are excluded from the policy. Now, guys, we can write a policy here at National General Accident and Health any day from the 1st of the month through the 31st of the month. But if Lindsay wanted to write me a policy effective as soon as tomorrow, she can take care of that for me. Now, the initial payment has to be any day between the time of the application, but it must be before the effective date. Reoccurring payments are 5 days before the monthly anniversary of the effective date. So let's say Lindsay wrote me a policy the 16th of the month. Going forward, the monthly anniversary is going to be the 11th of the month. Acceptable forms of payment: EFT, so checkings, savings, as well as Visa, MasterCard, or Discover. So the agent and members resources, this is where I like to kind of touch base a little better for you guys. So if you go to our website, natgenhealth.com, you'll see that it's bright, cheery, and sunny. If you click on the agent and brokers tab, this is where you're going to find agent tools as well as information. Let's say you need a quick little refresh on any of our products. Well, you can access the agent and tools information and go to our YouTube page. Yes, guys, we have a dedicated YouTube page. Now, the area I like to focus on a little bit more is the marketing material. So this is where you're going to find those plan brochures, flyers, trifolds. The beautiful thing about the plan brochures is it's based on product per state. And this is where you're going to find those more extensive limitations and exclusions on any of our products. The beautiful thing about our flyers, it is a more consolidated, smaller plan brochure, if you will. So again, it's just a flyer. It's 2 pages. It's really pretty. Trifolds. I love the trifolds. The trifolds, you can download the PDF. You can input your agency's particular information on said trifold, and it's all right there, whether you're meeting in person with your client or you're emailing them to set up a Zoom. You can present all the information right there for them. And again, the plan brochure is where you're going to find the more detailed limitations and exclusions, regardless of our products, as well as depending on the state. So make sure that you're paying attention to which state as well as product for the plan brochures, because the Department of Insurance in each state, fortunately or unfortunately, are a little different. Now, let's click on that existing customers. Well, the existing customers tab is where you can find a doctor or the facility, whether it's you, the agent, or you instruct your client. I like to use this as a touch base to talk to my client. Hey, Mr. Client, let's go to natgenhealth.com. I'm going to show you how to navigate. So let's say you need that ID card. Well, you can find it, or let's check on that doctor. Let's say that your insured needs to submit a claim. Well, that's where it's going to be found, is in the existing customers tab. Depending on the product line, they have specific claim forms. So super simple walkthrough, very detailed, what you need to do. You can email it or you can fax it over, whatever is easier. And then let's say your customer needs to view their policy documents. Well, by clicking on the existing customers tab, you'll see to the far right, view your policy on My NatGen Health. So My NatGen Health is where your customers member portal is going to be located. So, you know, when you've completed an application and you've sent through the email, they have to e-sign everything. So when they get that link, they're going to be brought here to the member portal. They're going to create a password. When they create the password, they're going to view the policy document saying that everything is true and factual, and then e-sign it, send it off. You as the agent are notified of that. But let's say that your insured needs a copy of their policy documents or even those ID cards. Again, my NatGen Health, I use this as a touch base with my clients. Hey, Mr. Insured, let's bookmark my NatGen Health. So if you need any information on your policy, or you want to view those policy documents or change that payment information, again, member portal, mynatgen.com, not to be confused with natgenhealth.com. Natgenhealth.com is for you, the agent. Your client can also use natgenhealth.com as well, but make it quick and simple. They can access their information from the member portal at mynatgen.com. And it's a little mouthful there. So a really quick recap here, guys, of the critical illness term life. It pays a lump sum cash benefit, wide benefit ranges, 15 eligible conditions, pick any doctor, any hospital. They also have that built-in term life insurance, and it's available in a large number of states. The cancer, heart, and stroke, really quick recap here, guys. Lump sum cash benefit. We also have the cancer, heart, and stroke coverage. Remember, this is the standalone. This is not the built-in option with the plan enhancer. This is the standalone cancer, heart, and stroke. Dependent children are also available on the coverage, a wide range of dependent options. You can pick any doctor or hospital, and then large number of states in which the product is available. Now, guys, we have roots that go all the way back to 1939 here at National General Accident and Health. We've been giving an A+ rating by AM Best. We specialize in both short-term medical as well as the supplemental insurance plans. Now, as always, guys, if you have questions, concerns, hey, Lorraine, I'm not sure if this policy is great for my insured. They have such and such going on. Well, don't sweat it. Email me at the ngahtraining@ngac.com. Let me do the deeper dive so you can focus on what you do, and that's your sales. So I'm going to say thank you and have a great remainder of your day.